just jump and deal with Saw. Even with the healing coming out from Adagio, you know, you've got to deal with both Taka, who probably is going to go Crystal Power orientated. You know what a Crystal Power attacker can do. As I speak, Techno JJ has to jump out very quickly.
Whoa, one more attack! He actually gets it! What? Leon picking up that crystal bit early on at the shop paid dividends. Ottoman's now in a bit of a dicey position. Gankstars know where he is, but he is going to be able to flip his way out of there. Man, crazy early game fight there. Coming out, Gankstars Cerberus with the quick pick. Leon making it happen as the turret starts to take damage already. Yakub, he doesn't have wave clear. This is going to go down in less than 2 minutes.
Look at Saw go. And actually, that is a key point that you just picked up on there, Jackson. But without wave clear, you don't, if you're not getting ahead and you can't deal with Saw instantaneously using your Taka and your Black Feather, then you don't really have the option to deal with the Saw. As I speak of Taka, he is going aggressive, potentially onto Leon here.
Yeah, Leon does need to be careful here. He's already used his heal, so he doesn't have it available for just a little bit. Neither does he have Agent of Wrath to turn around and start doing the damage. Ottomans finds the kill, diving under the turret. He is going to have that Kaku to try and get away, but he's going to pop out of stealth relatively soon. Techno JJ spots him. Can he find the suppressing fire? Not in time. Ottoman's going to be able to escape with a very nice pick onto Leon. I feel like Leon probably should have expected that coming, though. Taka can definitely, absolutely do the proxy farming we were talking about before.
Yeah, but also, you know, you leave Adagio solo in a jungle, you're asking to be counter-jungled by something like a Taka. You know, Adagio's never going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Taka in a skirmish. That's why you have Finn roam around with him, because at least Finn can provide a form of CC and fortified health, and then you just try and burst him down, or at least out-sustain him. Not having the heal was pretty key there. Obviously, like you said, he needed it to come back off cooldown, and maybe he would have survived, but you know, Taka can make those kind of crazy tower dives because he does just have the Kaku allow him to escape and get that movement speed bonus, and also heal up as he uses that ability. So again, it really depends here between these two competitions. Are we going to see a Taka getting fed and able to just one-shot a Saw, you know, with the aid of Black Feather, or are we going to be able to see these guys on Gankstars Cerberus make their advantages work and move forwards and just be able to crush these turrets? I mean, Taka is moving around the jungle. He is maybe looking to do exactly what you said, either take away back camps or make use of a proxy farming here. He doesn't look like he's in any rush, though, and all of Gankstars Cerberus are pushing very heavily onto this tier 2 turret with 0 wave clear from For Justice.
Yeah, Fursic actually jumping in there, though, very boldly going to get annihilated. Yakub extremely low on the health as well on the backside here, burning away with that arcane fire. You see Techno JJ starting to put the hurt on as Leon actually goes in for the dive, finds the kill. 2 quick ones, aren't even going to trade their lives for the turret. I've got to ask you, I mean, what was going on there?
What's Taka doing? Like,
well,
okay, my team...
This is something that we have seen before, especially when Koshko was popular, and it tends to work a bit better for the Assassins, where they actually go for all of the jungle, so both the camps, both the sides of the map, in order to hit an early level 6 and then come in and just wipe someone out. And that has been used as an answer to the push comp before. I don't feel like it's going to work as well. You know, like comparing Taka's current strength levels to old Koshka, for example.
I like the backs though, because you know, realistically, they probably know exactly what you were saying there. You're not seeing Taka. The likelihood is that he's just farming like a storm, looking to get an early power spike. He has got that level 6, taking away back camps. Gankstars Cerberus should have an idea as to where this Taka is right now. He will be back though, and they probably be able to secure their minion mine once more. But you know, they lost 2 turrets right there. For essentially a tier 2 or 2 tier 2 items on this Taka. Is it going to be worth? That's the real question. You know, turrets are worth a lot of gold. You can see it's a 3K almost being racked up here.
I think the biggest thing is the levels on Taka. If he can make use of the X Retsu early and find some good team fights, or if he can, you know, hit, for example, later on an early level 12 and really start to overdrive his abilities and put down the damage, then maybe this will have panned out. But at this point, it's too late to proxy farm because you're just putting yourself so far out there. Like, you have to walk across the entire map with no turrets to run to. That's just not going to happen. So He really needs to make this level 6 work. He's trying to right now onto Emmer King and Leon, but not really getting the damage he wants down. Plus Leon with a good amount himself finds one. Gonna be getting two. Yakub, the last man standing on For Justice, slowed up by both the Quibble and the Arcane Fire as Leon goes for the Verse of Judgment, gets the stun. Yakub gonna be going down here. It's an ace. Coming across just barely. Ottomans was on 0 seconds on my countdown for respawning there as Yakub fell. But 6 minutes, 3 turrets, and Gankstars Cerberus pushing into the base.
So I've got to question the use of the Kaku there. I imagine he was using it early in the fight to try and position well, maybe to try and get a good X-Retsu off and try and get onto Techno JJ. But it really backfired. He came out of stealth, was easily focused down, and had nothing to try and escape the damage and the pressure coming out from Leon and Techno. So I feel like this tactic hasn't really paid dividends for Justice right now. I think they're really struggling. They put a lot of pressure and put a lot of eggs into one basket in the form of this Taka. He's actually picked up an Aftershock.
Croc Taka, I mean, I can kind of appreciate going for that here.
Yeah,
because you want to be doing initial bursts of damage on someone like Leon or Techno, but look at this. Ottomans walks in, gets evaporated. Gangster, I mean, for this plan to work, like, there are, like, 3 main ways of dealing with saw push. For this way to work, your lane needs to not get wrecked, which they did. I mean, they were sitting under turrets trying to defend them and still dying, and still losing the turrets. So that's not all right. And your assassin or bruiser, like a Rona maybe, can also do this, needs to hit an appropriately big power spike, and Taka does not. So Ottomans, he jumps in here trying to go for the kill, immediately gets burst yet again. It's deja vu, back and forth here, Scoundrel. Yakub trying to get back to the turret. He gets hooked in though! That was a hero hook coming in from Emmer King. Only Fursic left alive. To be fair, Ottomans is up in 2 seconds because, you know, it's still less than 8 minutes.
7 minutes into
but
the game,
we're going to see these turrets starting to fall. Techno picks up the first. Ottomans wants to go back in for another kill, but
he's still dead.
Polite Company. Techno is able to live here. Fursic jumps forward. He picks up the return, but Leon wants more, finds it. Yakub trying to get the on point, misses it though, as Leon kites back a little bit. He's not going to be able to get out, but at this point, I'm not sure it matters.
I really don't think it matters. Now, I like the explanations you were giving there, how to deal with the split push comp, or rather not split push, rather a quick push comp in the form of Saw. You know, like you said, the classic one is to go for proxy farm, or dirty farm as some people call it, where you obviously just reduce minion waves being able traveling towards the Saw team, and then they have to either face tank the turrets, or they just can't push whatsoever. The other one, like you said, I think the plan that For Justice were trying to employ, since they had no wave clear, was get Ottoman to a point where he can jump in and one-shot Saw, so it doesn't actually matter that they've got a Saw in the first place. But the issue is that Adagio is suitably fed, Saw is suitably fed and have levels. You know, you've got to remember that even though they grouped up, they have levels. And at this point in time, he can't burst the heal. He also went for the Aftershock.
I think...
which, for me, as a burst item first against the Saw, doesn't make too much sense.
I would have preferred Shadowglass. Right?
I would have preferred Shadowglass. Yeah. I think it would have made better sense.
It's worth noting, though, that being blind pick, I do think that For Justice are doing the best they can with the composition they drafted for themselves, right? Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
The problem is, you can't proxy farm with a Taka when you have a Black Feather who needs farm, because the farm never reaches him, right? So it's very much like you need like a Rona or something that actually scales, and Taka doesn't in the same way. But here comes the fight yet again. Can Techno do the damage he needs to? He's actually falling very low right off the bat here, but he's going to be able to roadie run, jump back from Yakub. He's trying to kite out Fursic here. Verse of Judgment is going to land the stun on the Fursic. It bursts out Yakub, and Techno picks up the 3rd kill. This is game over for Justice as Gankstars Cerberus move forward to the semifinals, the 2nd week in a row. Second qualifier in a row.
Yeah, that Serpent Mask right there was absolutely key for Techno GG in that fight. Able to sustain an incredible amount of damage during that. Now, I want to make it just a case in point here on this Taka. I understand what you were saying. I think that, yes, they made the best out of the composition that they had. The item choice I felt was terrible. I can't put it any other way. But realistically, going into this composition, I think there are 2 reasons you might have gone the Aftershock. You go maybe for the cooldown reduction. And you're hoping to get, I guess, multiple you know, you are hoping to get multiple skills off. But realistically, Jackson, and I just before we hand over to analysts, I'll get your opinion. How many skill rotations is Taka going to get off? You essentially, as a Taka in this competition, you want to throw
Here's the
everything,
thing.
all of your cooldowns,
Yeah.
and hope that you kill the target you're going in on.
If you don't kill Saw in your first rotation
You're
of
dead.
skills, you're gonna lose the fight unless Yakub is suitably strong, which he just wasn't. Like,
Exactly.
the Aftershock, if Yakub had, like, maybe gotten a pick, or maybe gotten some farm, or maybe taken some of his back camps, maybe that works. But Yakub had nothing that game. I mean, he was starved out beyond belief. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, that was just blind pick things. To be honest, I really think it was very difficult for Justice to come out ahead in that situation with the composition they had picked for themselves, but perhaps the analysts see a way they could have played it better. Let's pass it back to them before we get our third quarterfinal underway.
Thank you very much, Action Jackson and